If you're the type of dude that's inclined to take the gear opinions of someone who's never been shot at seriously, then stay tuned, because today we're taking a look at RE Factor Tactical's Advanced Slickster. What is up, guys? My name is John with PewPewTactical.com, your definitive source for gear reviews, gun guides, and all things that go bang. If you've been following us for a bit, you may have noticed that I have recently switched up the plate carrier that I use for a lot of our videos after we reviewed the Ferro Concepts Slickster and my Spiritus Microfight setup a few months back. Though I tend to bounce around a few different rigs depending on what exactly we're doing that day, I tend to vastly favor low-profile and minimalist plate carrier setups, as I find that they work best for what we do here on the channel. They carry plates, usually have some sort of utility for carrying a few mags, have the ability to mount swift clips if I want to carry more bullshit on my person, and not much more, and for me that's perfect. RE Factor Tactical was kind enough to send us one of their advanced slicksters for review, and I really like that it takes the no-frills approach of Ferro's original slickster and expands on it in a few new and interesting ways. Perhaps most obvious is the cummerbund, which has been significantly slimmed down from the taller cummerbund found on the OG Slickster, and has stiffened Cordura closure tabs on each end. Additionally, each of the built-in elastic mag pouches in the cummerbund has had shock cord loops and pull tabs added for a bit of security to keep your mags in place, which is not a problem that I ever had in all honesty, but I understand that's definitely a concern for some folks. The rear of the cummerbund now also runs through an added flap on the rear of the carrier that gives you a full laser-cut molly panel to attach whatever additional kit you think you might need. Up front, you've got an additional kangaroo flap on the front plate bag for small accessories, though I haven't particularly found a use for it with what I do. I do, however, enjoy the addition of a small zippered admin pouch up top, which is useful if you need to carry small documents, maybe a high-vis panel, car keys, what have you. Just above that, you've got another small Cordura flap with laser-cut slits for mounting your radio's push-to-talk centered on your chest, if that's your thing. The front plate bag's also got added loops for routing comms cables or hydration tubes, and built-in wings that sit off to either side of the plate and tuck up underneath the cummerbund next to your body that can be used for a radio, tourniquet, maybe an extra mag, etc. Both flaps are secured with the same shock cord and tab as the standard magazine pouches. The carrier also features the same super low-profile shoulder straps as found on the original Slickster, but considering I'm not really doing any cool guy shit that would require concealability to be a thing I care about, I've tossed on a pair of HRT shoulder pads to give myself a little bit more padding on the traps. You can keep an eye out for a review of HRT's own carrier and kit suite probably sometime soon down the road. The Advanced Slickster features the same swift clip tabs up front that allow you to attach whatever compatible chest rig you'd like through the installation of Fastex buckles. And while the rig does work fine with the Spiritus Microfight I've been running for a while, a small thing has started to bug me about swift clips generally, and maybe this is nitpicky, but I'll explain. While a few other companies that offer swift clip interfaces have shifted to Fastex buckles with a flat rear surface so that they sit flush with the body on the plate behind them, Spiritus hasn't, and I've noticed that the Fastex buckles actually jut out at a tiny bit of an angle. And it's not a huge deal, but it does mean that you're not quite maximizing your surface area of Velcro interface. And it kind of feels like the clips themselves are actively working against the Velcro backing of the rig. And admittedly, that might just be a weird OCD thing on my part, but if it seems like that might be a thing that is going to bother you as well, maybe you should consider replacing those stock Fastex buckles with some of the ITW Nexus ones that do have that flat back rear panel. More recently, I've actually moved away from my Microfight entirely, and streamlined my setup even further with the addition of an RE Factor Ferro magazine placard, as I felt like the additional bulk on the front of the Microfight wasn't really worth what I was carrying in it, i.e. usually a spare pistol mag and a multi-tool and some note-taking gear. The placard is super simple and attaches straight to the front of the carrier via Velcro, and is further secured by the front cummerbund straps, giving you 3 AR mag shingles that are kept rigid by Kydex stiffeners. While I haven't been running this particular setup for a very long time, I do quite like it, though we will see how an entirely Velcro-based attachment system stands up over time as I cake it in sweat and dirt, etc. Overall, if you're in the market for a lower profile rig that maybe has a few extra bells and whistles but doesn't break the threshold of the bulkiness that a full-on armor carrier is going to give you, I'd for sure give RE Factor's Advanced Slickster a look. While it's not radically different from the original carrier, there are a lot of very cool quality of life improvements, and whether you've used the original Slickster or not, I figured you'll probably appreciate them like I do. Speaking of dirt and sweat, this is likely the setup that I'm going to be running for the tactical games competition that's coming up here in California in a few months. And I'll drop some information below. Eventually we're going to have an article and probably a video series that entails a lot of me spurging out about fitness and my preparation for that event, because I'm pretty stoked for it, so... Alright guys, that's gonna do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, as we've got lots more gear, dork, bullshit, whatever on the way. Once again, my name is John with Pew Pew Tactical, and we'll see you next time.